Thank you. We thought we'd sit in on your meeting here.
I don't think so. This isn't a public meeting. No.
At 6, Target 8 first revealed secret meetings held by Grand Rapids City Commissioners. They meet every other Tuesday behind closed doors. The mayor and 2 city commissioners at a time. 3 identical meetings, one right after the other.
It's at these meetings where they first discuss important issues, weeks, sometimes months before they're made public. Everything from roads to panhandling, even backyard chickens. Target 8 investigator Ken Colker broke the story and is here with more.
Brian and Marley, an attorney for the Michigan Press Association, says she believes the meetings violate the Open Meetings Act. The Michigan Municipal League, which lobbies for the city of Grand Rapids, warns against them. The State Court of Appeals has ruled that similar mini-meetings held nearly 30 years ago by the city of Wyoming were violations of the Open Meetings Act. Target 8 tried twice to attend the secret meetings held in a conference room on the 6th floor of Grand Rapids City Hall, only to be turned away by the city manager.
Have you ever had any legal advice against this by your city attorney's office? Could you answer that?
I've already answered your question. Go do something else during Sweeps Week. This isn't it.
No, could I ask, have you ever had legal advice against this?
No.
I wish I could respond to that, but the city has me handcuffed by the attorney-client privilege, so...
Catherine Misch was city attorney for 8 years until resigning in April 2016 to go into private practice. She's now running for city commission.
If you were elected to the city commission, speaking as a city commissioner then, would you be okay with holding these meetings?
No. If the Grand Rapids City Commission, in an open meeting, by majority vote, waives attorney-client privilege and allows me to speak to you about this issue, I'd be more than happy to tell you everything I know about what really happens behind closed doors in Grand Rapids City Hall.
Misch questions what, if anything, city commissioners recently discussed privately about a proposal to allow 16-story buildings on the city's west side.
I'd love to know, as a West Sider, how many times was that proposed ordinance talked about in secret meetings? Was the developer there? Who was there? What was discussed? Has the decision already been made? Is it already in the can? I'd love to know as a resident of the West Side.
City manager Greg Sundstrom says Misch attended the meetings when she was city attorney, but never advised against them. Current city attorney Anita Hitchcock tells us she believes the meetings are legal. The city denied Target 8's request through the Freedom of Information Act for any legal advice it has received about the meetings, citing attorney-client privilege. The city manager says the private meetings don't violate the Open Meetings Act because they never have a quorum, don't vote, and don't deliberate. It takes 4 voting members for a quorum.
We do not discuss anything and make decisions here in any way.
But the State Court of Appeals has ruled that deliberations include discussions. And former city commissioners told Target 8 there were, quote-unquote, open discussions. Former Grand Rapids City Commissioners say the meetings with city staff members like the police chief or fire officials helped them through important issues. Walt Gutowski, who served on the city commission until 2015, says they never argued the merits of proposals. He was surprised to learn the former city attorney opposes the meetings.
I don't understand it because clearly, as a city commissioner, we look to her for that direction, so that would confuse me. But maybe she's learned something new.
The purpose of a briefing, it's just a briefing, is to get information. You can't make a good decision without factual knowledge. No one knows everything. So you have a chance to ask questions, get information. You don't deliberate, you don't argue, you just educate yourself.
Former City Commissioner James White, who served until the end of 2013, said they never talked about how they would vote, but he said that meetings were a two-way street. City staffers providing information, city commissioners asking questions. So things aren't settled in those meetings, right? But
nothing.
You start coming to an understanding of
understanding,
issues.
that's all it is.
Then there's former City Commissioner Elias Lumpkins, who served until the end of 2015. He recalls talking about roads and parks and backyard chickens in the meetings. There was a back and forth.
Back and forth.
He says he prefers the private meetings.
If you had the media there videotaping and recording everything that you talked about, you don't get the open discussion.
Mayor Rosalind Bliss refused to comment, referring our questions to the city manager. The city manager would not sit down for an interview, but off camera, he said private meetings are more efficient and allow commissioners to ask questions without worrying about what the public will think. I'm targeted investigator Ken Kolker.